What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Friday night Hacking Leadership Zoom. My name's Nicholas Couch. I'm an independent promoter with Pruvit.
And I'm Jess Knouse, also an independent promoter with our amazing company, Pruvit.
So I just want to start off by saying the statements and opinions expressed herein are my own and not necessarily those of Pruvit Ventures. These statements have not been approved or adopted by Pruvit. Also, when making any changes to your diet and lifestyle, you should consult with a medical professional. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into turning negativity into positivity. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jess. Go ahead and kick this bad boy off.
Awesome. This is going to be an amazing training tonight. And I think that Nick and I can rock this because we talk about this all the time. We coach each other actually on this subject. So, but first, let's do some recognition. And I have a couple names here. Kat Pacta. She instigated a booth at the San Diego Bridal Show. And man, seriously, why weren't there ketones when I was planning my wedding? Like, that would have been so much easier. Kelly's giving me an amen with her eyes. I can see that. And also Dawn Sandberg Caldwell stepped up and helped Kat. So that's awesome. Amazing teamwork right there. And then Greg Clark, he is putting together an obstacle event for local kids this weekend. How cool is that? So Greg, have an amazing time with that and being a positive influence on the kids of your community. That's so cool.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we want to kick this off with a little video. It's probably not what you're expecting, but it came across my Facebook feed the other day, and it does really give a good explanation as to speaking positivity into something or somebody versus speaking negativity. Now, this is using the bullying analogy, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and watch and see.
Nobody likes you. No one notices. Nobody likes you. No one notices when you're a mistake. You're useless. You're not even green.
You look rotten. Are you really even alive?
I like you the way you are. Seeing you blossom makes me happy.
You're making a difference in the world.
You are beautiful.
I brought them here to see the plant. I was like, a plant is getting poked. Like, it's not normal.
I think it's an excellent project. To have something tangible that I can actually physically be a part of is, I think, going to be very powerful.
As the weeks passed, I started noticing that the one that was being bullied started kind of to droop.
While the plant that was being complimented, it was flourishing and beautiful. It's raised the profile massively of different forms of bullying and the effects that bullying can have on
If it affects a plant, it can definitely affect other people.
So you can see it with your own eyes. I would have never, ever believed that bullying language, negative talk, could diminish the plant versus the plant that was getting positivity. You're beautiful, these different things. It's just, it was pretty fascinating. That was pretty mind-blowing. It was a really good visual on negativity, positivity. Yes, it was specifically a bullying situation, which isn't really what we're talking about, but it was a good visual to show you what we're talking about. And then we have a couple other examples of why we should be doing positivity. So I'm going to turn that over to Jess.
So think about, like, a lot of us have full-time jobs outside of Pruvit, right? And a lot of us have supervisors or bosses. Think about, like, how you feel when only the mistakes that you are making are being pointed out to you. When that's all you hear is you're doing this, this, and this, and this wrong. And you never hear about anything that you're doing right. Positive, we need to hear more. Because whenever I hear more positivity, you're doing this amazing, you're doing that amazing, this was a really good idea, and I'm glad that we implemented that, so on and so forth. Then when I hit that negativity, because negativity is going to happen, right? We don't really have a choice. It's going to happen in our lives. But then when I hear that positivity and then that negative thing comes up, it's easier for me to handle that negative thing. And, it's all about, like, the mindset that we're in, and it's about the attitude that we have about it as well. And speaking of attitude, Nick, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but I have a really good quote about attitude that I have leaned on so much. I'm going to go ahead and share that right now. It's from Chuck Swindoll. I'm sure some of you have heard of him. He's a pastor, an author, and a former U.S. Marine. And he has a quote, and it's kind of long, but it's called simply attitude. So this is what it says. And the last line is like the best, but I'm going to read the whole thing. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude, to me, is more important than facts. It is more important than success, than what other people say or think or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, or a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. Here it is. I am convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. Boom, right? Mic drop right there. So we can't control the things that happen to us. We can't control the things that happen to those that we love and those around us, but we can control our attitude towards those things. And I don't know about you, Nick, but I recently found, like, in the last 2-ish years, that it feels a lot better it feels a lot better to find the positive in things than to dwell on the negative things. What do you think?
Absolutely. And it goes to everything. It's not just your workplace, like at home. Think about when the people you live with, your roommates, your spouse, your children, think about when they're complaining versus complimenting. It feels a lot better to be praised in a situation or complimented, like, hey, good job. Hey, thanks for taking the trash out. Hey, I appreciate you doing this. Or it's just, the situations, it's all day, every day, whether you're at work, with your family, with your friends. And if you just turn it around quickly, like intervene on the situation, which we're going to give you a tool for your toolbox and how you can turn that around. I kind of just hinted towards it, but if you don't know this yet, you don't know what I'm talking about. So number 3, Jess, you want to go ahead and hit that one?
Absolutely. So who do you want to be? How do you want people to view you when you walk into a room, right? Do you want them to be like, oh, there's Jess? Or do you want them to be like, hey, there's Jess? What do you want to give off? What kind of vibe do you want to give off? Obviously, we want to give off positivity. We want to give off a good vibe that people want, are happy to see us, that the room lights up whenever we walk into it. And all of that has to do with our attitude. And how can we show our attitude? How can we show that we're, like, happy to see people? It's this thing right here. All you have to do is smile. And guess what, guys? Like, it takes less muscles to smile than what it does to frown. Like, I can't even frown right now because I'm smiling so big. But just smiling, walking down the street, walking in the store, and just having a smile on your face, it's amazing how much that can light people up. And it really doesn't take much effort at all. So positivity shows, right? It comes out through you. And that's the kind of people we want to be whenever we walk into a room. So something we don't have in our notes, Nick, I'm just going to throw in here. You know, as I said earlier, negative stuff's going to happen. But what do you do whenever it does happen? And Nick's going to talk about a tool for your toolbox. But like, you guys don't realize how much I have leaned on Nick and Kelly in the last 2.5 years. Whenever I've had a downtime, and it happens, right? I call up Nick and Kelly. I'm like, guys, I just need lifted up right now. And, you know, wherever you're at in your spiritual walk, I've asked them for prayer. I'm like, guys, I need your prayers today. That's what we are here for, each other. You know, we are here to lift each other up. We are here to pray for each other. We're here to support each other in every way that we can beyond our business, right? And this is like a family. And don't be afraid when you have those down moments to admit it, because you got to deal with it. But what better people to help you deal with it than our community? So sorry, Nick, that wasn't in our notes. I just want to throw that in.
It's okay. And I want to piggyback off that. It's with the walking in the room. Like, you know, those people, when they walk in the room, there's like a dark cloud over them. There's just a little cloud of negativity following them. And you're like, oh, here it comes. John's going to be complaining about politics or what happened in the news, or I don't even like to watch the news anymore because it's rare that you hear something positive or you see something positive every once in a while. But if it's important enough in the news, I'll find it in my Facebook news feed typically. So I've just really stopped watching it. And that goes back to probably about 3 years ago. Tony Robbins, most people know him. He had on his social media, don't worry about the things that you cannot control. So watching something negative in the politics, it's out of your control unless you want to go be a politician. The only thing you can do is vote. And if your person you voted for loses, that was the majority that won. So you can't do anything about it. So don't worry about taxes are going up. Don't worry about
not just politics, but the weather, especially this time of the year in Pennsylvania where Nick and I live, and Kelly. Like, someone said to me at work today, like, yeah, there's going to be like a big snowstorm next week. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even pay attention to the weather because half the time the weather people aren't right anyhow. So, you know, if I knew, like, and I don't love driving in the snow and ice and such. So if I was so focused on that weather forecast next week that the weather's going to be so bad, oh my gosh, how am I going to get my kids to school? How am I going to get to work? Blah, blah, already worrying about something that I have no control over. But guess what, guys? Majority of the time, that snowstorm never comes. So there you had yourself all worked up about absolutely nothing. And Nick tells me all the time when I may or may not call or text him with concerns, you know, about what's going to happen or not happen in the future. And he's like, Jess, don't worry about a problem you don't have, or let's not cross that bridge until we get there. Like, you're setting yourself up almost, you know? So news,
I call it down in the gutter. If Jess calls me and she's down in the gutter, like, oh my gosh, this is looking like this could happen 3 months from now, why are we even talking about it? Like, a month away, a day away, like, maybe we can start thinking about it. We're not even close to that issue. And if you stay out of the gutter and focus on the positivity and the people in your community that are on fire and positive, and like, I have some specific people that when I get a message from them, like, it brings me up. And same thing, Jess knows that if she is having that down moment, that she can reach up and I'm going to reach down and we're going to lock arms and I'm going to pull her up out of the gutter. Legitimately, that's like the best example I could give you. Jess tripped, fell in the gutter of negativity. I bent over because I'm standing on positivity and I ripped her back up out of that gutter. But yeah, we're getting a little off track here, but these are like good, spontaneous things that we want to throw in there for you guys. But the tool in the toolbox is, how do you turn negativity into positivity? I already told you what the tool was. You didn't even know it. The turn. If you've ever been to or you plan on attending one of our leadership coaching dynamic events, it's called LCD. It's literally 2-ish days of super intense training on how to handle situations and how to coach your people in a situational experience. Like, Jess might be a rank 6 Circle of Champion on fire. She knows everything there is to know about the ketone and conversation, but she might be in a situation where she's not as skilled. So I need to coach her at her skill level, there's so much, it's not supposed to be talking about LCD, but they teach us about what's called the turn. So if Jess was coming to me with negativity like, oh my gosh, Nick, I missed that Go MVP Christmas bonus reset. I was 40 volume away. I'm canceling my smart ship. That's not really how Jess sounds, but you get what I'm saying. If she calls me irate, flipping out, whatever, or just bummed, and she's like, I didn't hit it. What you want to say is, Jess, I'm sorry to hear that, but what I'm sensing is a little bit of frustration that you were so close, but you just missed it, and you could have used that $500 cash for Christmas shopping. But what if I could coach you through how to do some other things to earn that money through your typical commission program? Or what if we can get some more 5 and 10 days moving? You want to turn it, but you don't want to just do it. You don't want to be like, Jess, this is what you should have done. You want to ask for permission. Jess, I'm sensing that you're a little frustrated that you missed that bonus by 40 volume. Are you open to coaching? Ask for permission. I missed that when I was doing the example. You want to let them know that you understand that they're frustrated, or that you understand that they're upset or angry, or depending on the situation. You want to let them know that you relate to them. Hey, I've been there, Jess. Like, I've missed MVP bonuses before. I know what it's like. Are you open to some coaching? Now if Jess says yes, I have permission to give her constructive criticism. I have an opportunity to coach her through how to resolve this issue that she thinks she's having. And typically what they're coming to you with isn't really even the issue. Like, it's something else, but it gives you they opened up the fence and they let you in. Now you have an opportunity to coach through the situation and reestablish some proper things that they can be doing to not have that happen.
Absolutely.
Anything else I missed on the turn? That
sounds good.
That's a short, really abbreviated version. If you want to get the full live turn training, we need to see you at the next LCD. I don't want to give the whole thing away.
An LCD is amazing. Get there, you guys. So, finding positivity in every situation. Sometimes you need help, like Nick just said. He used the turn, and he has used that with me, and I may or may not have used that with him a couple times, I think. And that's a cool thing too. You know, in this community, we can reach down, we can reach up, we can help each other in any way that we need. So how do you find the positivity in every situation when things are so negative? So Nick and I don't remember where we were coming home from one time. Baltimore? I don't know. But anyhow, we were using our app Waze, right, to get us home. And we were going home, and I was looking around. I'm like, I don't remember this from when we came down here. Like, are we going a different way? And he was like, yeah, I think Waze is taking us a different way. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Why would it do that? And he said, I don't know. Maybe there's an accident on the other road that, from the way that we came down, or maybe we would have been involved in an accident. My husband, the other morning, he thought he had set his alarm for 4:30 in the morning to get up. My alarm was set for 5. And for some reason, his alarm did not go off. And mine went off at 5, and he got up and he was like, you know what? I'm not that upset about it. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to get on the road and I'm going to go. And I talked to him then on my way to work, and he said, I'm sitting in traffic. I'm like, oh, well, that stinks. What's going on? He's like, there's an accident up the road. He said, let me tell you. He said, I'm pretty sure if my alarm would have gone off at 4:30 and I would have gotten up and gone when I was supposed to, he's like, I'm pretty sure I would have been right in that area where that accident was at the exact same time. So there's a reason for everything. If he would have gotten up and been all, I should have been on the road half an hour ago, it wouldn't have changed the fact that possibly prevented him from being in an accident that morning. Everything happens for a reason. And if it's just, again, so much easier just to be like, you know what, it's okay. And that's what I tell my kids all the time. They get frustrated about stuff or whatever. And I'm like, guys, is anybody bleeding? Is anybody dying? No, we're good. It's okay. I get to work late. I'm not happy about that sometimes, but I'm like, you know what? I'm here. What's the alternative? Being in the back of the ambulance or being in a hospital bed somewhere or worse, So if you focus on that positivity, everything happens for a reason. And, you know, sometimes we just need to make that positivity. Sometimes it's hard to find the positivity, but I know that in every situation you can find even just a little glimpse of positivity, and a little glimpse is better than nothing at all. So, you know, another example, we were at an event and there was other people there, and they were, you know, we all checked into our rooms and stuff, and they were like, oh, our TV doesn't work. Like, we turn it on, it just doesn't do anything. I'm like, guys, here's how I turned it around, right? I'm like, guys, we're at a Pruvit event, and like, we're only in our rooms long enough to like sleep and shower. Like, why? We're not going to be able to watch, we're not going to have time to watch TV anyhow. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. That fast. Things flipped around, because negativity is like toxic. A little bit of negativity can go a long way. So just like Nick had the example of the turn, you want to squash that negativity as quickly as you can. And again, that's not just in our community with Pruvit, but in our homes, even in public places. Squashing that negativity while it's still a little baby monster, not allowing it to be a great big monster, is key as well. So again, if you can't find the positivity, make the positivity, be the positivity, and that makes all the difference.
And you actually even want to turn around any Facebook group, three-way text, three-way Facebook Messenger threads. If you have a couple people in a group and 9 of the 10 people are being positive, and one person gets in there and they're having a bad day, and I literally call it, they're infecting the group. Because all it takes is one person to make the other 9 start shifting to the negative side. So you, as the leader of your group, or you heading up that messenger thread, or you being the most experienced or whatever, you want to go in there and just get at that issue, spearhead it. Don't let it get out of control, because then if you have 2 people, it spreads faster. It literally starts compounding. But we wanted to also add in there to be the example. It's a really good analogy. I forget when I heard it, but it's called the oxygen mask theory. So if you've ever paid attention to the flight attendant on an airplane, they go through the demonstration of how to use the life raft, and how to use your seat cushion as a flotation device, and not to smoke in the bathrooms, and all these different, where the emergency exits are, all that stuff. Did you ever hear him talk about the emergency oxygen masks that fall from the ceiling? You have to put it on and straighten the tube out first, because if you don't get oxygen, you're useless. You can't help anybody else. And it's the same thing for positivity. If you're not first putting your own mask on, how are you going to help an elderly person who can't get their own mask on? How are you going to help negative Nancy, who's not even willing to put her mask on? She's going to fight tooth and nail. She doesn't think the plane's going down. I don't need my oxygen mask. She's negative and she doesn't want to go positive. If you don't have oxygen, you're going to pass out before you can help that person. So I use that analogy in everything. Get your oxygen mask on, get that tube straightened out, get some fresh air flowing, because if you don't have oxygen, you're dead. You can go a month without food, a couple days without water, a couple minutes maybe without oxygen. So you want to get yourself saved first. So if you're waking up in a negative mood, I would recommend some reading, some audiobooks, some videos like the one we're going to play here in just a minute. Jess, you want to hit number 4?
Absolutely. So when it comes to being positive or negative, what are you surrounding yourself with? I mean, a lot of times we don't have the choice as to who, like in the workplace, you know, you can be a positive, but there always seems to be someone that's negative, and you can pour positivity into them, and you should. But we also, you know, outside of work and that sort of thing, we have the ability to choose who we're spending our time with. So evaluate, are you spending your time with people that are lifting you up? Are you spending time with people that are dragging you down? Are you spending time with more cows than you are rhinos? If you don't know what that means, hit me up and we need to talk. But, you know, who's your tribe? Who's your 5? You become the people that you surround yourself with. So really evaluate, are you spending your time with the right kind of people? And this video that Nick's going to cue up here speaks volumes to that.
Yes. And absolutely, it's true. If you're hanging out with 5 alcoholics, most likely you'll become the 6th. If you're hanging out with 5 people that are broke, your bank account probably looks similar to theirs. Like, it's so true. I didn't believe it. I thought this was some hokey pokey motivational thing. It is legit. I started changing my circle of 5 and my life started changing. My average went up. I started matching what they were like, and this video is one of my favorites. So let me cue up the video. Go.
Yo, I just saw this Rumi quote that I love. Set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames. The Philly translation of that is, don't be hanging with no jank ass jokers that don't help you shine. The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame. Look at your last 5 text messages. Are those people feeding your flames or dousing your fire? Put your phone down for just a second and look around. Look to the people around you. Are those people throwing logs on your fire or are they pissing on it? The people that you spend time with are going to make or break your dreams. Everybody don't deserve to be around you. You got to defend your light with your life. So who are the people in your life that are fanning your flames? Shout them out, tag them below. Yeah, I just saw this Rumi.
All right, back at you. I love that video. Will Smith has hundreds of videos on YouTube. If you ever need a little kick in the butt, a little happiness, a little whatever, I trust me, go watch some Will Smith. Everybody needs a little Prince of Bel-Air in their life. Bella, I don't even think you're old enough to know what Prince of Fresh Prince is.
So guys, just to wrap up and to also give you a call to action. I know we're really down. Yeah, we're right on. Okay. So a quote that I found today too, a negative mind will never give you a positive life. So make positivity louder. What does Dr. Ryan always have on a lot? If you follow him on Instagram or any kind of social media, hashtag make positivity louder. He is always about that. And that's how we should be too. I mean, and anything we can do to make positivity louder. Keeping those around us positive, right? Keeping our mindset positive, paying it forward. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I do that, it lifts me up so much that I can't stop this. Like it's just ear to ear. And, you know, it's something as easy, especially this time of the year, right? Around Christmas. If you're at a drive-through at Starbucks or whatever, you get up to the window to pay, just tell the cashier, hey, I want to pay for the person behind me too. I had someone do that to me one day, and that was the coolest thing ever. My husband and boys had the same thing. It's the coolest thing ever. And so what did I do? I was like, oh, that is so cool. I love that the person in front of me paid for mine. Now can I pay for the person behind me? And they said that it kept going for like 2 hours. It was so awesome to see everyone like paying it forward. But also, go ahead.
So I also want to say, you don't have to be like in the spotlight when you do it. Jess and I, we met at a diner with a couple other promoters the other night to actually plan our Zoom. And we actually secretively bought a $10 gift card, and we snuck over to the breakfast bar area, and we gave the waitress a $10 gift card to apply to this family's bill for them. I don't know what her reaction was like, because we snuck out of there like 2 Jedis, and we weren't trying to get praised for giving them $10 towards their meal. It was the thought. And I wrote on the gift card, from Santa, Merry Christmas. And then same thing, I'm not trying to get any praise or recognition for telling you the story. I was at Mission Barbecue today for lunch with my sisters, and there was a World War II veteran that walked in at 12:02 right after they got done with a moment of silence and the national anthem. Every day at noon at Mission Barbecue, everybody's quiet and they salute and they do the national anthem. So I bought the World War II veteran a $15 gift card to use towards his meal, and I didn't want him to know. So I gave it to his he had a caregiver that was helping him in his wheelchair. And I mean, he has to be in his 90s. He was at war in 1944 to 46. So I was trying to be secretive. I didn't want anybody to know. So I snuck over and I gave it to the caregiver. I didn't tell her like, hey, keep it on the down low. I just said, here, please apply it to his meal. So she walked back over and she whispered in his ear and she pointed at me. He literally saluted me. It was such an awesome feeling. And then some people around me saw it and they were I'm getting choked up telling you the story. It was so awesome. He gave me a salute and a thumbs up. And it's just little things like that shift. It probably changed his whole day.
And here's the other thing, Nick. Not only did it change his day and lift him up, but look at the reaction from his caretaker. Look at the reaction from the people around them that saw it all unfold and happen. I mean, that's how quickly it can happen. It can spread, but it all started with you, Nick. And that's what we need to do. We need to be the one to make it start. If not us, who's it going to be, right? And everyone's watching. And that's what people need to see. People need that positivity to know that people still have a heart and they care about complete strangers. So awesome for you, Nick. I know you didn't tell us that for recognition, but I want to recognize you for that. That's the kind of stuff we all need to do.
Yeah. I mean, what's an extra 10 or 15 bucks, $5, $2, whatever. And it's so true. It happens immediately. Jess was just giving an example, and I noticed somebody else on the screen that you might not be able to see in the recording. They instantly had a huge smile come over their face. The positivity is quick, and it spreads like wildfire. So, yes, whatever you can do, random acts of kindness, make positivity louder. Like, get out there, pay for somebody's coffee, buy them something to eat. Go get some little bags and walk around the street and find people that look less fortunate and hand them out. You guys did that in New York City. You called them better bags, I think?
Yes, Cindy did do that. It was amazing. And they appreciate it so much. But guys, it doesn't even take money. Just a simple smile at someone. You never know what people are going through. You never know what a simple smile can do for them and lift them up, and then maybe inspire them to pour positivity into somebody else.
So we want to give you a call to action. So now that we're talking about all this fun ways to surprise people, buy them coffee, pitch in money towards their food, whatever, we're asking everybody to go make a Facebook post, Instagram post, use the hashtag Make Positivity Louder. Heck, we might as well even tag Dr. Ryan Lowry in the video because he's a huge, every post he makes, he has the Make Positivity Louder hashtag in. So let's get out there. Let's do some good deeds. Don't make your post all about you and the act that you did. Make it about the feeling that you had when you got to give that person the gift, or like Jess got to talk to the barista a couple hours later and heard that it was a ripple effect. Like, don't make it about you. Make it about the act of kindness. And let's get some other people thinking about doing that. We can make a huge impact through social media if I start sharing it and Jess starts sharing it, and the other people viewing this live or on the replay start sharing it. Jess?
Awesome, guys. I think that's all we have for tonight. I know we're a little over time. Thanks for hanging in. And let's just go out and spread positivity. And especially this time of the year, make positivity louder. It warms my heart just thinking about it, you guys. Like, I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. So awesome.
Awesome. Everybody have an awesome weekend. God bless. We will talk to you on the next one.